What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the most important NYCFC talk show. That's right. It's time for the Dudes in Blue. It's episode number 147. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm your host, Joe Amato, and alongside me, as always,
Antonino. Dude, what's up?
not much, man. It's going to be a fun episode, I think.
Fun, aggravating. What's the difference at this point?
This is gonna be crazy. This is gonna be a good one. I think it's gonna be a really good one because I think we've hit a new low, and for us, it's gonna be like a new level of just anger and frustration.
Yeah.
Because I know it is for me. I'm so frustrated that I had to wear a damn FIFA jersey for the show because I couldn't wear an NYCFC kit. I had to wear a fictional team. Because they're better than what we see on the field.
I mean, let's be fair. Our most consistent player is our EMLS player.
He should run the team. Put our EMLS player at the helm of NYCFC, and you're going to see a bunch of La Croquetas. You're going to see timed finesse shots. You're going to see a bunch of El Tornados. It's going to be ridiculous.
Oh, my goodness.
Anything but what we have right now.
We need our boy Didi Crislito. Listen, man. This weekend was an absolute just.
It's unbelievable.
There's no words. There's no more words. I'm at a loss for words.
We're gonna dive into it, obviously, because we have no choice, and we've got a lot to cover. In the New York Groove, we're obviously going to talk about the scoreless draw against Montreal at home from Saturday. But then in the far post, we're going to go around MLS because there was a lot of games this weekend, a lot of fun stuff to talk about there, and we're just gonna have a good time doing it because, man, the only thing I love more than this team is talking crap about this team. So
at this point, it's all we can do.
So let's do it. Before we do that, guys, make sure to give us a follow: Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're at Dudes in Blue. It is the best way to get a hold of us. And dude, before we crack into the show, I got to say hi to some people in the Facebook feed because there's a lot of them. And we really appreciate you being here. If you're watching live on Facebook and if you're listening on the pod, thank you as well. If you're watching on Facebook, keep getting those comments in. Smash the like and share button so all of your friends know that you're watching. Let's do a quick roll call. Steven Berg checking in saying hello. Felix saying you're. Jamal saying hola. John Levin asking to bring on the spice. There will certainly be a lot. Hailing from D.C., Roddy Russell, what's going on, buddy? Anthony Buckley checking in. Kerry Andres, Slow Sky Balleros and Azul. David checking in. He's got a lot of comments for my shoes at the game, which is awesome. That's great. Thank you for rocking the Dudes in Blue shoes. We got Mark, Joey, Coco. Wow, a lot of faces here.
A lot of people here.
If I didn't get to you, hi, and thank you for spending time with us. Dude, we got to kick things off with the New York Groove. Let's get into it. The New York Groove. All right, it's time for the New York Groove. Time to go over whatever happened in the Bronx on Saturday. Dude, NYCFC could not score against a team that lost 7-1 the week prior.
Missing one of their key players, which had an analytics-driven stat of every time Piatti is not in the lineup, I think they win 14% of the time.
Right.
So the odds were ever in our favor, even more so as the game went on, and we just couldn't muster anything up. Absolutely embarrassing.
At what point, and I wish we could spend more time talking about the game because there was nothing to it. Like, we were talking a little bit before the show. There was no shape to the way that we played.
Very sloppy, very all over the place.
Dude, every player, and this has been in every game, dude, every player has been out of position. I think the only player that even stayed in his position was Sean Johnson.
Because he can't go elsewhere.
He really can't move.
I agree. I think as I was watching the game, the first half-wise, I think you saw 3 or 4 different back lines. I saw 3 in the back. I saw 5 in the back. I saw the traditional 4 in the back. there has been zero consistency in terms of personnel in the 18, the starting 11, and in formation. It's impossible to win like this. You're really making it hard on yourself. And I understand that. Listen, we tried to give Dome the benefit of the doubt. You gave him a full off season. He had half of last season to tinker and figure it out. The team is not all that different from last year, and yet you're still getting these crap results. There's got to be a point where it just comes to a stop, and it's not the personnel on the field, because most of these guys ended up helping us get a majority of the points last year in the first half. So it's not the guys on the field. I will give them some blame because they are the ones carrying out the actions. But if you're trying to ask your guys to do things that they're not capable of doing, it's on the coach. It's on the staff. And this experiment really needs to be over. We tried. Listen, we all wanted Dome. We're all interested because of his track record with Pep. Pep said, he was the brains behind it. Well, guess what? Pep is Domeless, and his team is doing absolutely fantastic.
Doing just fine.
So I find it hard to believe that he was really the mastermind behind all this. I just don't think the guy's cut out to be a head coach. I don't think he communicates well. I don't think his tactics work when you don't have multi-million-dollar players on the pitch. I wouldn't even put this guy in charge of a youth academy at this point. Yeah. I'm tired of it. I don't want to see anymore. And if the rest of the season is going to go this way, I would much rather it go this way under a new coach trying to do something different that's proven what he can do in this league.
You kind of hit it on the head. The guy is used to playing with essentially 2 A squads at Manchester City, right?
Insane.
Like if Kevin De Bruyne doesn't play, David Silva can step right in and play that role. Oh, and Bernardo Silva can step in and play that role. It's like, but here we can't put together a consistent 11 that gets results. This is not the team that Dome is used to coaching, and this is not the team that he can implement these tactics and these experiments with. That being said, we have talent for MLS. Dude, like you mentioned, the team has not changed all that much from last year to this year. And last year, for a greater part of the season, we were MLS Cup contenders and Supporter Shield contenders. It was not until this man took over the job that things started to go downhill. It was not bringing in Tati Castellanos and Eloy Amagad halfway through the season that brought us down. It was lack of coaching ability with the players that he has. And even still, even he's got players that he wanted. He can't do it. He can't do it. But you got to take a step back further, dude, and you got to look at Claudio Reyna as well, because at the same time, Dome said this last year. He said it flat out to a question, but I think Nick Chavez asked him in a press conference. It was when Yangel Herrera was injured, and we were talking about who was going to come in to replace him in the summer transfer window. You remember that?
Yeah, he said he doesn't pick the players.
Dome flat out said, he's like, that's not my job. That's Claudio's job. Well, guess what? If the best that you can come up with is an $8.5 million Romanian player that can't even play more than 45 minutes for his home country and who can find the net just one time in 5 games. We've scored 4 goals in 5 games. I'm sorry, dude. Half of it's talent, half of it's coaching. Half of it's talent, half of it's coaching. I'm a firm believer that if you put an 11 out there that knows how to play well together, you can get the results. But this man cannot do that. This man does not have the capability of doing that, despite the fact that he has some talent on the team. But we need players. We need better players. We need better coaching. We need better staff. We need better front office. It just needs to be better. We expect more and better from not just from City Football Group. Okay? Sorry, it was 4 goals in 5 games. Did I say 4 goals in 4? It's 4 goals in 5.
5, yeah.
We need better. We expect better. This is New York. We expect better.
Yeah, people don't seem to understand that winning here and sports here has a much different meaning than a majority of the rest of the country. Winning a championship here is much larger than winning a championship in most other places. And this is really it's a no-nonsense town. We really don't put up with it. And the best way to get a free pass from things you do wrong is by winning. You can oversee shortcomings when you're still getting results, and we're not getting we're not getting the results. We're really not. And in again, to bring it to your point about the front office, uh, when was the last time we heard from anybody in the front office that's come out and addressed the fans personally or in some aspect of that? Listen, other guys are you got teams bringing in guys that are super uber talented that are getting the job done, Pozuelo and things like that. And we're getting like Walmart versions of players, like of talent that we need. You can't do that. And I understand the league wants to, you want to move away from that stigma of being a retirement league. But those guys put fans in the stands, and the young guys in the league can learn from these guys. What better role models do you want than people who are world-class players who can still play at somewhat of a high level? You mean to tell me that you wouldn't want Zlatan or Wayne Rooney on this team? Look what they've done for their clubs. It's a no-brainer.
I don't necessarily. This is not a retirement league, dude. When you look at a guy like Carlos Vela, who right now, dude, is ridiculous. Smoking it. He's only 30 years old. To me, that's not retirement league. That's not retirement league.
No, but it begs the question: why, with the resources that we have, do we not have these caliber players?
Our resources stretch further than any other MLS club in the league. You have City Football Group, one of the wealthiest footballing groups on the planet, essentially an endless source of money. And the best thing we can come up with are two guys this year that we've never heard of before, who is having a tough time finding the net. And listen, I can't put too much blame on Hebert because we haven't seen too much of him. We saw about a half an hour of him.
Yeah.
But again, is he the savior? Is Hebert going to be the one that saves this team?
You should not have to put that on one player.
It's impossible.
It's not fair. It's not fair, and it shouldn't be that way, because if you have a really good team, a team will play well regardless of if you remove one piece or not. One guy being taken out like Maxi cannot sink the ship.
Unhinge the entire team. Yeah,
you can't build a team that way. Look at the way we tried to play through one player all the time, and look at what happens. It's the same thing. You can't build a team. You can't play through one guy. It's just, there's so many things that are wrong right now, and it's just every loss and every draw right now becomes more and more painful, and my patience is being tested. I mean, it's getting thin. And it's tough because everybody loves this team. The fans love the team. But you can't keep swinging and missing at opportunities to advance past your shortcomings. We understand the stadium situation. We get that. But you're not making up for it anywhere else. You're devaluing season tickets. You're not bringing in any kind of talent that warrants people coming and watching. Anytime you get nice weather, people rather be doing something else rather than watch this team. It's really sad. It's really sad that we care more than the front office does.
At least that's the perception.
Well, listen. You tell me. Who's going to tell me different? There is almost zero value for season tickets. The resale market is absolutely absurd, where I can't even sell my seats without taking almost a 60% hit. You've got a stadium that had, on a beautiful day in April, that was 70 degrees for the first time in a long time. You got 19,000 people. I mean, when we were pulling in, 25, 26, 28, when we had Lampard and Villa and Pirlo? Now, granted, those guys had their issues, but you had people there. You were building culture. Now, I get it. They weren't maybe the best pieces, but you needed to learn. You needed to learn from that experience, and you've digressed so much. I don't expect this team to win every season. I don't expect them to win an MLS Cup every single season. It's an unrealistic expectation. What I do expect is to improve on the things that you did poorly the year before, and hopefully not digress with things you've been doing well. This team, year one, awful, but expansion, okay, understandable. Second year, new coach Patrick Vieira, second place finish. Unreal. Awesome. All we could have asked for. Second year, kind of plateaued under Vieira, but we kind of understood. And again, second,
Same result. It was the same result in year 3 versus year 2. So
now all of a sudden, we've gone completely backwards.
We have less points. We have less points through 5 matches than we did in 2015.
Unacceptable.
We are having a worse start than our first year as an expansion team.
Unbelievable.
When is enough enough? Like, I want to know, guys. Tell me in the comments what is the big change that you think we're going to see, or if any, are we going to see any changes? Are we going to? Here's the problem. Here's the problem with the Dome out crew here. The problem with Dome out is, who do you bring in? You're not going to give it to one of the assistants that came in with him. The only thing that you're going to see happen is you're going to see City Football Group find somebody else in their system that they can send over here to try to cop together a team. Who are you going to bring in? You're not going to go out and get Jose Mourinho to come and coach here. Who are you going to get? Honestly.
You can't. You got. I don't know. I off the top of my head, I can't. You'd have to sit there and go through external candidates, obviously.
But knowing who owns our club,
yeah.
Do you really think they're going to go to an external? Look at after Christ, it's been Patrick Vieira, Dome Tarrant, both City Football Group products.
Yeah, I also think another thing you got to worry about is the what your team presents itself to be. As far as a coach, who would want to come here? Who would want to come here knowing that if they slip and falter a little bit, they're the club's first inclination is to fire you. It doesn't really, the job security isn't really, it doesn't help somebody that wants to come in there. If you've gone through 4 seasons and you got 4 different coaches, it's not a job where I'm going to feel comfortable accepting, knowing that, listen, after year 1, if we don't make the playoffs, something goes wrong, God forbid someone gets hurt and we can't, compete.
I don't necessarily think that's the case. I think Vieira had a job. I think he had the most job security out of anybody because he literally improved upon what he started. And dude, in year 3 last season, we were Supporters Shield contenders, dude. We were MLS Cup contenders. That was under him. He had the players that fit his system. We were doing it. We were defending. We were attacking. We were scoring goals. We were winning games. We were winning games consistently. Dome comes in. An assistant coach comes in to run this team. Runs it right into the ground. Straight into the ground. 4 wins in 25 games, dude. 4 wins in 25. 4 wins in 25 games. You tell me.
Who else can do that and keep their job?
Right? If you did 20% of the things you were supposed to do as your job, how long would you last there?
I would have been fired twice already.
Right? Come on. Give me a break. When's the accountability coming? When is that going to be there? There has to be something. You can't take 3 steps forward year after year after year with Patrick Vieira and then take 6 steps back. We're right back at season 1, dude. We're right back at season 1. This is absolutely it is unacceptable. It is unacceptable. This is forget about the fact that this is New York. If this was any MLS club, they would be losing their effing minds right now.
Well, look at the teams below us.
Look at Portland Timbers. Look at Portland. Look at Atlanta.
Yeah.
Look at even Red Bull struggling.
Absolutely.
This is a result. This is a results-driven business, and if you're not getting the results, you're gone.
We give you the business.
You're gone. And I'm sorry, 4 points out of a possible 15 to start the season is not results.
No.
I don't care how well we played. I don't care how well we kept the ball. I don't care that we had 60% possession. It doesn't freaking matter if the scoreline stays 0-0 or we cannot score a goal in 200 and something minutes.
No, it's unacceptable. Unacceptable. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think we've seen anything that warrants optimism at this point.
What do we guys? Tell us, please, what do we have to look forward to? This is why I ask: Is Hebert the savior here? You said you can't put all this weight on one player. Look what happens when Maxi's not on the pitch. Apparently, we fall apart.
Yeah, but in all reality, when he was on the pitch, we really weren't that much better.
Oh my God! It's just like I'm sorry. Like I watch Premier League. I watch La Liga. I watch Serie A. I watch a little bit of Bundesliga, not a lot of it. This is not even close. This is not even close.
It is different, but it's still. I think what CFG has to realize is that this is not a project. This is a top tier league. I mean, obviously here it's a top tier league. Elsewhere, it's obviously well below town level.
We're the top league in the nation with a club that's owned by the top organization in the world when it comes to football, and we cannot cobble a single damn win in 5 freaking games at the start of a season.
Just unacceptable.
That's what it comes down to, dude. It's just unacceptable, and somebody needs to be held accountable. I'm sorry. If Aber comes in and we start scoring goals and we start getting some results, okay, I want to see that. But how much time do we give what we're seeing here? How much more time do we give this? How much more time?
And that's the question. That really is the argument here. Is that
how much rope?
Do you give Doma enough rope where it gets him to halfway through the season? And we continue to play like this, would you rather have that? Is that so? It's almost pick your poison. Would you rather do that, or would you rather have someone new in here trying to get something fresh done and have the team struggle playing a little bit differently because they're trying to learn something new? I mean, either way, the season at that point could be completely, gone astray. So we are the epitome of being stuck between a rock and a hard place at this moment in time.
I freaking called it last year. I said, this is going to be a tough year. This is going to be a tough year. Ending the way that we did, and then the moves we made in the offseason, which were few and far between, throw that into the mix.
Even the moves we made last year really weren't all that fantastic.
In the summer, there were no moves in the summer. There's nothing. There's no improvement. Again, you pay $9 million. You pay $9 million for a Romanian that nobody's ever freaking heard of, and a Brazilian, not even a striker. I can't even say striker because he's a left winger. We got four wingers on the field, dude. We got 4 wingers and no striker. Where the hell are the goals going to come from, man? Come on. This is getting ridiculous.
I don't know. All I know is that, to get back to the game a little bit, just too much inconsistency in team shape. I didn't hate the way Tati played. I thought he had actually a pretty good game.
He had a few good
Wasn't
chances.
able to bury, but
he
did, and he was pretty good. Mata, I think, as an attacking option, was not terrible. But I mean, just no creativity whatsoever. Matrica, as fantastic as he can be, he without the right pieces around him, he's going to lose the ball more often than he's going to get a shot off, to be honest with you. And just to beat up a man for 20 minutes and not being able to get a shot, it's disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting. And then you've got a coach that's going to pull out excuses that his team can't play fast on a dry field. No, sir, it's not the field. You know what it is? It's the fact that when your player picks up his head and expects another player to be in a certain spot for a pass, that guy's not there because you don't know how to instill that in them. How many times did we see in the first half? And I'm only quoting the first half because they were playing towards where I sit, and you can clearly see the play a little bit better. How many times did people in the midfield at the center circle pick up their heads to make a diagonal pass and then change their minds? That has nothing to do with the field. Nothing to do with the ball rolling on the field. That's all decision-making and positioning. I totally agree that the field was a mess and it's dangerous, and the turf not adhering to the clay is a big issue, and we know that the field has been much better than that before. It was never that bad. So that's a different discussion. But stop blaming other things, and even if you own up to the fact that it's your fault, you're not doing anything to change it. Everybody's all talk, talk, talk. We have to react better. We have to this better. And none of you do anything. None of them do anything differently. It's the same story.
But how much of that is the player and how much of that are the
And
tactics?
I'm going to give it 75-25. 75 coaching and 25% play.
I agree with that. The players still have to kick the ball. If Doman was out there kicking every ball and receiving every pass and not scoring, it's one thing. The players still got to do it.
Bugs Bunny out there, the one-man wrecking crew.
The team is honestly, dude. I think the team is stuck between a rock and a hard place. I feel like there's no gusto, no killer instinct.
They don't believe in what they're doing.
It's like they don't want to play for him.
That's what it looks like. That's exactly what it looks like. And it's sad because they really need to be looking at us. You can't not give effort because of your coach. If you're really that upset with your coach, bring it up to the front office and say, listen, we're not playing under him anymore. I understand we have a contract, but it's just not working out. It's not favorable. And again, they're probably going to lose that fight, to be honest with you. But you still have to go out and give effort. And some guys do and some guys don't. But it was so sloppy, and the lack of decision making. And Jonathan Lewis made a bunch of great runs, never got the ball in poor positions. And then when he was receiving the ball, his defender was all over him because the pass was telegraphed.
Right.
Again, lack of creativity. And again, it's hard because you have these little lingering things like Maxey not being there and Hebert not really starting and getting a chance to play. And all these little things that are kind of like ammunition in Dome's favor. But those are slowly dwindling down to the point where you have to look past that and realize that this dude's got no more excuses.
Yeah.
There's no more excuses. Stop changing the damn lineup. Figure out who the best 11 guys are. You want to change one or two people here and there, I understand. But you've got to have some sort of consistency in shape and the way you play. If you want to change for a certain opponent because the matchup, like Red Bull, when that high press would kill us, and you could change for that and play the ball over the top, that's different. But week after week, you have to stick to what you do best. And you have to figure out what you do best.
What is that?
And capitalize.
We got to figure that out. We don't know what that is yet.
You need a coach that can figure that out. This guy can't do it.
Just to get to a comment here, I'm sorry, guys. I know there's lots of you commenting on Facebook, and I wish we can get to the comments. It's crazy. I love the conversation going on in the Facebook feed. Go back to that if you're listening on the pod and just jump in on the conversation because it's absolutely ridiculous. We really appreciate it. Roger says, but if leadership puts them in positions they don't belong in, is it on them? And that's why we say it's 75-25. I can understand if you're putting Maxime Chanot at striker. That's a monstrous jump. But it's just it's mostly on tactics and management and team management. It's just it's rough. It's really rough. Dave says that we're best at holding possession, which hasn't translated to any goals. I don't care about possession anymore, guys. I'm sorry, I do not care about possession. I care about the scoreline. I care about the results. I don't care if we have 32% possession but have 80% of the goals. That's what I care about.
Yeah, it's what it comes down to. And I understand that that's the basis of what you want to surround your game on. But if you're not doing it well, I got nothing for you. That has to produce something. The possession has to produce, and your possession for the sake of possession is useless. It's completely useless. Holding the ball in the middle of the field to not get quality chances up front and bury the ball in the back of the net is pointless. And at some point you have to realize that that's all this team can do because you don't have 10 guys that can hold it like that. That's not the way the team is built. That's not the way the league is built. It's a running league. You cannot turn this team into a European-style team and expect it to win games against much more physical running teams. It's not going to work. No, we don't play like you can't play like that here. You're trying to make the team something that it's not, and you're going backwards.
Mark says possession when you're up 5-0 is okay. And look at a team like
when
Man
are we
City.
ever going to get 5-0?
We need one before we get to 5, dude. We need one.
Crawl before we can walk.
Unbelievable. Look, when you have a team like Manchester City, possession is everything because every time they possess the ball, they create a chance.
You could do something with it.
Every time we get possession.
65 passes between Maxime Chanot, Sean Johnson, and Alex Callens is not going to create anything. Especially when guys are standing around and the guys who are making runs aren't getting the ball. We beat this horse to death.
You know what it is? I don't want to do this again next week. You know what I mean? Like this was the straw for me that almost broke the camel's back. It's getting bad. It's getting really bad. And in the comments, they were saying like, this is Joe's rants. I've gone off a little bit.
Yeah, this whole day has been Joe's rants.
But please don't even get me friggin' started with these other knuckleheads on Twitter. Should we get into that now? Like, dude, we're 31 minutes into the show. We haven't talked about Dude of the Week.
Well, we'll do that. We'll do a joint AntsRants, and we'll save that because I think you and I both have valid points on what you want to talk about.
Oh my God, it's just
But Dude of the Week.
Do we have to? Do we have to?
Dude of the Week. It's somebody, definitely not from this team.
Oh my God. That's fine. We play Minnesota United at their brand new stadium on Saturday,
and we're probably gonna lose.
Minnesota just beat Red Bulls at Red Bull 2-1 over the weekend.
They've got 3 road wins already.
So
if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure I saw that somewhere.
I think you are correct, which is more road win. Wait, no, they've never won on the road before this year. I believe it's something silly like that.
Something ridiculous.
Anyway, let's move on to Dude of the Week, dude, because I need to talk about maybe something positive, even if it's not from us. Here we go. Dude of the Week. Well, who's gonna get it? Because, come on. Guys,
vote.
Put them in the comments.
My vote is going to be for Mr. Diego Rossi of LAFC.
Oh, you're going outside the game.
Netting a hat trick. I'm not giving it to anybody. Both Pepto-Bismol teams.
A few votes for the supporters of the look. You guys get it every week. If there's
we would put up with a lot of crap, man.
Unbelievable. You guys deserve it every single week. Everybody says the supporters, right? I'm going with you, dude. I think Diego Rossi had an absolutely phenomenal game. LAFC had an absolutely phenomenal game. Going to Audi Field, picking up 3 points, but not only picking up 3 points, picking up 3 points in style. That team is just on fire, which we'll talk a little bit about in the far post, which will be definitely abbreviated because we've talked so much about how despicable we are. And let's just move on, dude. Let's give it to Diego Rossi. He scored a hat trick away, and let's just freaking move on to the far post because I just
moving on.
The far post. Okay, guys, it's time for the far post, the part of the show where we take a little bit of a trip around MLS, look at the results. But right after we do the far post, we're gonna do AntsRants, but it's gonna be a little bit of both because I think we each got stuff that's pissing us off this week, aside from what we just watched on TV this weekend. It's pretty amazing. As if there wasn't enough to get the blood pressure rising. Today, I just lost my mind. Anyway, real quick, dude, around the around the league here. LA Galaxy winning 2-0 over Vancouver. Zlatan getting yet another goal. The only thing about this match that I want to talk about, dude, and it's something that I find just absolutely tasty, is how Felipe was very upset at the Vancouver fans for cheering for Zlatan. Now, I cheer for Zlatan. I don't care who you are. I love the man. He's a goal-scoring machine. Felipe had a little bit of a problem with it, though.
He's a bitch. Listen, don't complain about the fans. Put a product on the field that warrants cheering. There's nothing wrong with respecting a world-class player. Look at how many Juventus fans clapped for Ronaldo when he scored that friggin' bicycle kick in the Champions League last year. So blow it out of your rear end, Felipe. You're a douche anyway.
Moving on, TFC and Chicago Fire 2-2, a 2-2 draw. So that happened. I don't really have much to say about that.
Let me tell you though, the link up between Pozuelo and Altidore is looking dangerous, man. Those guys are gonna have fun this season.
Yeah, absolutely. LAFC, like we mentioned, absolutely thumped. Dude, LAFC has scored 9 goals in their last 2 games. Like, what the hell is happening in LA? They are playing on another level.
Goals already. I think Bella's got 7 goals already. That's pretty impressive.
He's Golden Boot leader right now. It's unbelievable.
Pretty impressive.
Unbelievable. And listen, he's on track for MVP right now. I mean, I know it's very early, but he is absolutely killing it. 4-0. Wayne Rooney red card on a dangerous challenge.
Yeah.
And it was definitely he knew it. He knew it. He was taking the armband off before the ref was even coming back from the VAR. He knew he was done.
Yeah. That's one of those challenges where you're on the fence. And then once you go into your slide, you realize it's too late.
It's too late. Yeah, exactly.
That's just bad. And it's funny because he was on the receiving end of something similar to that the week before. So I guess karma comes around and bites in the ass every once in a while.
I guess so, even if you're Wayne Rooney. Like we said, Minnesota United beating Red Bulls at Red Bull Arena. That was delicious. I enjoyed watching that. Although it really looked like Red Bull was going to get that second goal. They had a lot of control of the game. It's just they got it done. They got it done at Red Bull Arena, and that's what makes me a little bit nervous going to – is it the Allianz? Is that what they're calling it now?
Yeah.
Going to the Allianz this weekend and trying to get a result from Minnesota United that's actually playing very, very good soccer this year. They're exciting to watch.
It's their home opener, so you know they're going to be hyped. The adrenaline's going to be on their side. So it's up to us to spoil it, but I just
best of luck. Best of luck.
So, yeah.
Orlando City beating Colorado 3-2 in a 5-goal.
4-3?
3-2, I think.
I'm seeing 4-3 for some reason.
I don't know. One of us is wrong.
Saturday, April 6th. Well, they won by a goal.
Union 2-1 over FC Dallas. Crew 1-0 over the Revs. Revs having a really difficult time this year. Brad Friedel is having a very, very difficult time this year. It's really difficult.
Tough.
San Jose picked up their first win over the Portland Timbers of all people. The MLS Cup finalists last year are now getting beat by a team who only up until the other day were literally pointless. This is a pointless team.
They win big, too. They won big. 3-0.
3-0. Very, very, very good. Sounders 1-0 over RSL, and FC Cincinnati and Sporting Kansas City 1-1. Very surprising result there. But I think a lot of that had to do with Sporting getting destroyed by Monterrey 5-0 in the CONCACAF Champions League a few nights before. So,
yeah. Agreed.
So there's that. Really, really exciting weekend. We got another big weekend of MLS coming up this weekend. So really going to stay locked to the couch for that. But J.R. Francis is saying, did you guys hear the prediction? It's up to 25 inches of snow in Minnesota this weekend. I did not see that.
But again, would not surprise me.
But that'd be amazing.
Would not surprise
me.
25 inches of snow. Maybe that'll be another excuse of why we can't play fast. There's 25 inches of snow on the ground. We can play.
Oh my God!
All right, I know.
Let's move on to an AntsRants that is probably going to be both of us. Here we go. It's time for AntsRants. All right, dude. So this whole episode has pretty much been a ranting episode. I think it's probably the angriest episode that we've ever had. I'm pretty pissed.
I would put it right up there with the 7-0 Red Bull game, that show after that, which people were calling for us to do a show that night.
They were, yeah, Sunday. You're right.
They were like, do a show now.
Yeah, you're right about that.
I think the anger has been compounding week after week for the last X number of weeks that it's all coming to a boil at this point, and it's getting really, really frustrating.
Dude, I will tell you, this one guy on Twitter, I am very close to blocking just because it started.
Is he still going?
In a way. Anyway, look, in this AntsRants, who wants to go first, you or me? Because
I will let you.
Oh, jeez.
Take the wheel to start, and then I will just supplement you with more hatred and vitriol.
Okay, fine. All right, guys, listen. Over the weekend, I posted a poll on Twitter because I know how much you guys love talking about a stadium. I posted a poll on Twitter saying, after watching NYCFC on that pathetic excuse for a soccer pitch, would you accept a stadium outside the 5 boroughs? That was the question. It was a yes or no. I'm curious to test the waters to see how the fans are feeling regarding this topic, right? Because everybody wants a stadium in the 5 boroughs, which is understandable. It's what was promised by NYCFC before the team, when the team was formulated, put together. It's what we're expecting. But here we are 5 years in. We have no announcement, no nothing. I post this poll on Twitter, and the backlash that I get from a damn Twitter poll is absolutely astounding. Let me just say, we are not lobbying for an MLS NYCFC stadium outside of the 5 boroughs. This was, again, a Twitter poll.
A yes or no question.
A yes or no question.
There's only 2 options.
The actual result of this doesn't even matter so much anymore because it just verified what I thought was going to be true, is that astoundingly, most people don't want a stadium outside of the 5 boroughs, right?
Which is fine. Which is what we knew.
Which is totally fine. It is totally fine. I understand that completely. I am not advocating for or against a stadium outside of the 5 boroughs. What I do have a problem with is when people are telling us that we are different because we are not in the city, we are outsiders, we are advancing an issue that shouldn't be advanced. Guys, it was a freaking Twitter poll. Can you just click yes or no and move the flip on with your life?
It's really not that serious. I think the whole point of the question was to kind of see where that yes number was going to go. Whether the team's performance, it would kind of sway a smaller number of people. Because in the beginning, it would be 100% no and 0% yes. The number slightly creeps up. And there was, listen, out of like 184 people.
Yeah, it was almost 200 people that voted.
40 of them were like, yeah, it's okay. Should I rattle off the list of teams that don't play in their namesake city? The Dallas Cowboys, the San Francisco 49ers, the Miami Dolphins, the Buffalo Bills, the Washington Redskins. None of them play in their cities. Now, granted, they play very close in proximity. That's fine. I'm not mentioning the Red Bulls because they've never identified with New York. They've never played in New York.
Right, exactly.
They never sowed roots here.
Whew.
So I'm not including them. But listen, if you're telling me I got to spend 10 to 12 more years at Yankee Stadium versus you putting a stadium in Yonkers,
10 miles down the road.
Like, shut the hell up, dude. Shut up. There is no reason to combat that, especially when you know what's going on in the city. I
don't know. My whole thing, again.
And it's not like we're lobbying. We don't have a direct line.
I know, dude. The one guy, and I'm not going to mention names.
There's no backhoe behind my apartment that's waiting to dig up some friggin' ground in Mount Vernon somewhere. It's a friggin' yes or no question just to see if anybody was changed from, yeah, it's got to happen here to like, well, I would kind of accept it, but it's still the same thing.
Based on timing and results. Based on timing and results and the way the close. We're 5 years in, guys. 5 years in.
Freaking yes or no question. But you know what? We get looked different upon because we don't live in a freaking $4,000 closet in Manhattan. Again, another people that can blow it out their rear end.
I'm sorry. Like,
who works in the city? Who lived almost the last 6 years here?
Dude, I drive an hour and a half. I drive an hour and a half each way without traffic to Yankee Stadium when I go to games. We do a weekly show. We do a weekly show about this team.
Oh, dude,
If I don't,
how much should we get paid for this? How much does the team pay us?
uh,
A grand total of, get the calculator out. Oh, zero. We do this because we love the conversation that we can drive with the people that are in this room right now. You got people commenting who don't even watch the show.
the best part is that people are commenting that aren't even from New York. No offense if you're not from New York, but it's like, come on, you're blasting me for a yes or no question. It's unbelievable.
And this is why we're no longer going to talk about the stadium.
And with that said, this is a decree, a Dudes in Blue decree. The next time you will hear the Dudes in Blue talk about a new NYCFC stadium is when an official announcement has been made by the club. That's it.
So you're never hearing about one ever again.
You happy now? You Twitter trolls? Are you freaking happy?
While we're stuck, my thing was that I was going to go off on City Football Group and not caring about the team, but we kind of hit on that already. So I just want to hit on one more thing about Twitter. If you are going to make an argument about empty seats in a stadium and you're going to post evidence of that, make sure you post a picture after the game starts and not before kickoff when everyone's in the bathroom and getting their food and beers. Morons. Someone posted a picture of the stadium. We had 19,000 people, and the crowd filled in during the first half, filled in pretty well for all circumstances of the state of the team and things like that. Somebody took a picture before the teams even got out on the field. There were people holding their flags, and this stadium's empty. No freaking crap, it's empty. Everyone's behind you. People are so stupid. Twitter, Twitter has been one of the greatest and one of the most destructive tools in the world because you gave everyone a voice. You gave the great people a voice, but you also gave every moron a voice. And now we have to hear with it because the morons are going to be louder.
It's amazing. Oh, my God. This has been just a gigantic, rant. I think we've finally hit, rock bottom. I think we're finally there. And this is – and I'll tell you what, man. This is, fun. This is just fun. It's amazing. It's amazing.
This helps me so I don't yell at my family members. I would be taking this out on the porch, my neighbors, people walking their dogs outside. It's just the lack of common sense online.
Dave is saying this is making me want to get a Twitter. Get on there, man. Get on Twitter and join the rest of the club and get on there so you can actually voice your opinion in our poll because I'm sure you who drives 2.5 hours, your vote doesn't really matter, buddy, because I know you drive 2.5 hours to get to the stadium.
And then, dude, on top of it, you get people who don't read the thread and make the same comment. How many people said, what, play in New Jersey? No, we didn't advocate for that. And people still comment afterward. Read the comment. Idiots.
Freaking amazing.
Buffoons.
Oh, it's so much fun. It's so much fun.
God, and everybody who's here that supports us, you have no idea how much you mean to Joe and I. You really don't know, because if you guys weren't here, we'd obviously would have canned this freaking thing a long time ago. But the fact that you guys come up to us and talk to us, I had somebody on the Major Deegan yell out his window, "Are you Antonino?" Ask my father, I swear to God, on the Deegan in traffic. That's the coolest thing in the world to me. And I love the fact that we can drive conversation about this team within the people who are here who normally wouldn't interact with each other. That, to me, is the most awesome thing about this. So, again, when I get angry, I'm not getting angry.
Hold on. I have to say, somebody's asking, so do you want us to just play in New Jersey? No!
No!
Have you not just listened?
For the love of God!
Have you just not listened to what we just said? This is not an advocate. We're not advocating for a stadium anywhere else but New York City, but asking a question to gauge where the fans are at with the way that things are going.
Mother of
You
God.
guys are absolutely killing me. Absolutely killing me.
Put him in the bathroom. Who is it? Put him in the bathroom.
Oh, my God. This is insanity. This is absolute insanity. All right, listen. We're at 50 minutes here, dude. We're at 50 minutes here. We didn't even have like a normal friggin' show.
Well, listen, we still have to do rapid fire, which there are probably like 3 questions.
There's not many. We didn't get many this week, but before we do that,
we do have to give away. You have to give away our giveaway.
We have to give away our giveaway. Yes. So listen, real quick. So last week we gave away. Well, no, last week we were giving away a Andrea Pirlo autograph card, which I think you might have handy. It's an Andrea Pirlo autograph card, dude. I got a winner for this week's giveaway. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Matt Lumino is the winner of an Andrea Pirlo autographed card from Topps Apex Soccer. So, Matt, please send the dudes a DM on Facebook or wherever you want to get in touch with us. And yeah,
just don't knock on my door, all right?
Just don't. Yeah, please. Yes. So send us a DM. And we will get that out to you ASAP, please. Matt Lumino, congratulations. Thanks for everybody for being in the broadcast and do all that. Anyway, dude, moving on here. Before we get to our rapid-fire Q&A, we do have to say that the Dudes in Blue Scarf pre-order is going well. We appreciate all of you that have done it so far. It's $22. Go to the URL there. You can find the URL at it's on all of our pages. It's 90minutescarves.com. You can see the URL there. It's a phenomenal scarf. We cannot wait to get them. Those of you that pre-ordered, like I said, thank you so much. But if you haven't pre-ordered it already, definitely do it because we have to hit a certain number for these things to ship. So thank you all that have done it. And if you haven't, what the hell's wrong with you? Go over there and do that. Oh my God. All right. I'm exhausted.
I'm schwitzing over here.
I am down a bottle of water. I have to crack into another one. We only have a few rapid fire Q&A questions from Instagram. Are you ready to do them?
Sure. Why the hell not?
There's only a few.
Does it have anything to do with the state of New Jersey? If it does, don't ask me.
Stephen B812 on Instagram. Dome out time. I'm gonna say, in my mind, yes. Is it realistically gonna happen? No.
Probably not. Yeah, but yeah, I'm down. I'm ready for whenever that change comes. Just sign me up.
Let's just do it. All right. Dome out now says score prediction for upcoming game against Minnesota. I am gonna say 3-1 Minnesota.
I'm gonna go with 3. I was actually thinking the exact same thing.
There you go.
3-1 Minnesota. Yeah, that's really weird. Get out of my head.
There you go. Keeping it positive, aren't we in a better form than New York Red Bulls and Atlanta United this season? Yes, but like I tweeted last night, we are the best of the worst at the moment.
Yeah, not just at this point. It's just like
not a single win through 5. This is not
positive. Just no optimism to be had here. To be honest with you.
Yeah, and then Upstate Strong, who probably doesn't live in New York City, so he was not allowed to vote in the poll.
You have no say, sir.
Says favorite sports movie. That's a really, really difficult one for me. I'm going to have to say Major League 2.
That's because we were just quoting it before we started.
That's probably why.
Great choice. I'm going to go just because I've been in the golf mood lately. Caddyshack is one of my all-time favorites. Very, very good. A lot of good sports movies, but leaning more towards the funny ones, I think, just because the humorous spin on sports that are usually very serious. So Major League definitely is
I like to keep it light. I like to keep it light just because I don't like drama.
Great choice.
So that's when you people did that on Twitter today. It kind of tweaked me a little bit. Anyway.
I had to hear the whole freaking day.
It was amazing. Javier says, even San Jose has more wins. LOL. That's not funny, but it's also true.
Oh, good Lord.
Unbelievable. Well, guys, listen. This has been unbelievable. All the comments are fantastic. You guys can keep them going after we turn the live broadcast off. But listen, the show would not be possible without you. Trolls or not, you guys are fantastic. Make sure to leave us a review on Facebook or iTunes and let us know what you think of the show. And, you can head over to our Twitter page and engage there, or we're on Facebook and Instagram at Dudes in Blue. Please go pre-order the Dudes in Blue scarf. I'll put it up one more time. Real quick, dude, Luis Rios is asking, can we bounce back this season?
Barring some really drastic changes, I just there's nothing been shown to us that would warrant this team becoming top of the table team. You just don't see I don't see the glimpses. At least when you lose games, but you score goals, you can see glimpses of what you can do well and string them together. I just don't think this team has done anything particularly well to warrant me saying that they can bounce back. I hope they do. I know they have the capability. Just to say whether they will or will not, I at this time I can't give a definitive answer.
Yep, that's for sure. Guys, again, thank you so much for spending time with us for episode number 147. It's been real. It's been fun. I got a lot off my chest, dude. I got a lot off my chest tonight.
Do you feel lighter?
I feel like I lost like 10 pounds.
Got the monkey off your back.
Unbelievable. We'll be back Monday night at 8 p.m. for the Facebook Live broadcast, but we will be back on the audio pod Tuesday as well. And, dude, listen. Until next time, stay blue.